This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, road reopens hours after shooting caused massive rush hour delays.
The area. I'll talk about when rain arrives and how it could affect your weekend.
And breaking ranks, St. Augustine's University expresses interest in President Trump's academic excellence program. Why this could be a tall order, though.
And we begin with that breaking news. The person shot on US 64 during the morning commute is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Thank you so much for joining us. So the shooting happened on the highway near Lizard Lake Road around 7:30 this morning, and you can see these backups that happened afterward here on your screen. This lasted into the 9 o'clock hour this morning. And WRAL's Destiny Patterson is trying to get answers about what happened here. She joins us live now from that scene where the Wake County Sheriff's deputies are gathering evidence. Talk a little bit more about that, Destiny.
Chris, you can see the road has reopened. Definitely some welcome news for people who were traveling during the morning commute this morning. This road was shut down for several hours. And just as you mentioned, in the last hour and a half or so, we've learned that the victim in this, the person who was shot, has life-threatening injuries. They're now in the hospital. I want to show you what this scene looked like this morning. We had a crew here. We saw forensic crews on the scene, and we also saw several deputy units as well. Of course, we're in close contact with the Wake County Sheriff's Office to figure out what led up to the shooting. Was this a road rage incident? We haven't been able to confirm that. The Sheriff's Office says they're not able to confirm that. And now, of course, we're also working to learn more about the suspect. Take a listen to what they were talking over radio traffic about who could possibly be responsible.
Gold Ford Taurus driving aggressive, last seen taking exit 14 off of I-87 southbound. Wake County initially advised gray Taurus for suspect. Now advised in tan could possibly be related.
Now, as I mentioned, we have reached out to the Sheriff's Office trying to figure out if this was a road rage incident, and we're also asking questions about the suspect in this incident. At this point, the Sheriff's Office says that it's only under investigation. They haven't shared any further details. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
A high school senior is recovering after Raleigh police say he was shot during a road rage incident. This video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows officers investigating a car with bullet holes. Two people were driving home from a restaurant around 12:30 this morning when a vehicle in front of them would not move. They honked and the driver chased them to her house and shot into the vehicle. Officers are still looking for the shooter.
Our next weather maker is a front that will be rain kind of on and off tomorrow and on Saturday as well. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is on the WRAL weather patio with a look at the timeline there.
Finally, we are seeing some sunshine. Earlier this morning, we were stuck in the clouds in most places, and it looks just beautiful as we take a look from our Garner camera. When I pulled that up just about 10 minutes ago, there was still some patchy clouds, so the clouds are really continuing to thin out nicely. It's chilly out here. Temperatures are in the mid-50s, and in the shade, it does feel cool. It's nice to have the jacket on, that's for sure. We still don't have clearing everywhere east of Raleigh, north of Goldsboro, there in our eastern counties, especially along the I-95 corridor. We're still seeing a lot of clouds, but those clouds will continue to thin out and shift eastward. So if you're under the clouds right now, hold on, give it another couple of hours and we should see that moving on out. What is moving in, though, along our stationary front is a good bit of rain between St. Louis and Memphis, moving over toward Nashville and eventually toward the mountains of North Carolina. And that arrives here in time for the morning commute tomorrow. Currently, it looks like it'll be fairly light on and off on Friday, and the same thing really on Saturday. Some scattered showers Saturday afternoon, possibly some isolated thunderstorms. Of course, that could could affect the Raleigh Christmas Parade. A bunch of us, including me, as well as Renee and Chris, and I could go on. We'll all be out there, and we're going to take along the raincoats, that's for sure. We have the potential for at least some scattered showers. It'll be nice and mild in the morning during the parade, in the low to mid 60s, and then a very warm afternoon. Not only will we talk about this and go through this on Futurecast in a few minutes, we'll also take a quick peek at what could happen next week, just around Thanksgiving.
Elizabeth, thanks. We're following breaking news. Border Patrol agents have wrapped up Operation Charlotte's Web. Agents started their efforts last Saturday. They've arrested more than 250 undocumented people, according to Homeland Security. Now, despite reports that agents left, federal officials say U.S. Customs and Border Protection, as well as ICE, are always present and active in our state. Agents are now headed to New Orleans, where they are expected to carry out something they're calling Operation Catahoula Crunch. We will continue to monitor Border Patrol operations in the Triangle today. Look for more updates on WRAL News from 4 to 7:30 this evening.
A Wake County man charged with killing his son is due in court this afternoon. 59-year-old Andrew Torrey is charged with shooting 28-year-old Travis Torrey. Police responded to the scene on Terramar Lane in Zebulon last night. First responders tried to save Travis, but he died. No word on a motive in this. And a 16-year-old is set to be in court this afternoon because they're accused of killing a 14-year-old in a crash. Ashton Ralphs is accused of being drunk and speeding before a crash that killed Max Dunham. That was while he was riding a bike. Ralphs is charged with second-degree murder, and his court appearance is supposed to be at 2:30.
After 11 hours, the Durham Fire Department has cleared the scene of a large fire at a recycling facility. It's over on Hoover Road, and the chief tells us they've been there before. WRAL's Monica Casey is live at the scene right now. Monica, what made this particular fire so difficult to put out?
Well, Renee, the location here is tough. There's not much water around, and what there is across these train tracks. And so the chief told me they had to run a supply line across the tracks, and then they dug underneath the train tracks to run the water supply line under there to get to the fire all the way over here, where you can see they are still cleaning up here. Now, the fire is out now, but the fire department sent us these photos of the fire at its peak. Employees of the facility got involved, moving a tractor trailer out of the way and running an excavator to smooth out the debris pile to let crews get closer to the fire. Chief Bobby Zoldos tells me the cause is unknown right now. I did ask if it could have been a battery.
I mean, that's always going to be something that we're going to suspect in these type of fires. We know that around the nation, there has just been a rash of trash truck fires, and so many of them are caused by batteries.
Now, there were no injuries here. 28 fire department employees from 12 different units were here to deal with the fire. The chief tells me they've been here for fires 4 times since 2023, but he emphasizes that is common at recycling plants. Zoldos says this is a reminder to dispose of your trash, especially your batteries, properly. The city of Durham has a facility where you can drop those off, and some Home Depot and Lowe's locations take batteries as well. Live in Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is calling on the federal government to reverse naturalization ceremony cancellations in some counties in her state. Several county leaders said they received this email from a Homeland Security official. It notes all future naturalization ceremonies are canceled. A spokesperson with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration now says the courts do not meet the statutory requirements to conduct the ceremonies.
Discontinuing them creates a real barrier for families already balancing work, childcare, and other responsibilities.
It also forces these folks to go down to 26 Federal Plaza, where there have been some notorious issues concerning ICE and things of that sort. So that's one of our concerns.
New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler believes someone acted too soon. He says he expects the ceremonies to be restored soon.
St. Augustine's University is the first HBCU to express interest in joining the Trump administration's Compact for Excellence program. The letter from the interim president comes after Ivy League universities rejected the president's invitation. The compact is tied to preferential federal funding. However, it bars consideration of race, ethnicity, and other identity-based characteristics for admissions and scholarships. St. Aug is also dealing with millions in debt, accreditation issues, and several lawsuits. Preventing gang violence. The Wake County Sheriff's Office is inviting parents and children to a special program. The Gang Task Force is hosting Let's Hit the Streets Forum over at Barwell Road Community Center. The event will include a DARE class and panel discussion. The Sheriff's Office says this is geared for 5th to 12th grade students and their parents. Students must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. This event runs from 6 to 8:30.
And happening right now in the WRAL Life Center, the U.S. Labor Department September jobs report. The delayed report is out. We just got those numbers this morning. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, our economy added about 119,000 jobs that month, which is better than expected. Additionally, they say that average hourly earnings increased 0.2% for the month. However, the report also said that the unemployment rate edged higher to 4.4%. That's the highest it's been since October of 2021. Today's data, though, which was delayed due to the government shutdown, did also revise July job totals down to 72,000. That's a decrease of 7,000 additions to the prior release.
Well, Michelle, even before that jobs report came out, futures are looking pretty good, but the Dow Jones right now, not necessarily so much, down 83 points. Off screen, S&P 500 down about 21 points. The NASDAQ down 109. We'll be watching closely to see how the rest of the day pans out, especially in the artificial intelligence sector. Many big political names are gathered in D.C. for former Vice President Dick Cheney's funeral today. I want to show you some images that are happening right here at this moment. We know that at least 6 of his grandchildren are there, and several of them are up speaking on stage right now. More than 1,000 guests are expected to be at this invitation-only funeral. Neither President Donald Trump or Vice President J.D. Vance were invited, but former Presidents George W. Bush and Joe Biden will be paying their respects. Former Vice Presidents Kamala Harris, Mike Pence, and Al Gore were set to be there as well. Cheney will receive full military honors at the memorial service.
Predator in uniform. Those are the words from women who accused an OBGYN in Fort Hood, Texas, of sexual misconduct. Hear more from them and how they're getting support.
And inappropriate for children. Why parents who bought a Kuma bear for their children should pay attention to this recall alert and what the company that makes it is doing about the problem.
Nonprofits recovering. The government shutdown created serious challenges for people who need food assistance and the people who serve them. We'll explain how organizations are helping people trying to catch up.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000. Sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
A predator in uniform. That's how some women describe an OBGYN based at Fort Hood, Texas. Major Blaine McGraw is accused of sexual misconduct and secretly recorded his female patients. Juliana Jackson spoke with former patients, and we do want to warn you, parts of their story might be triggering for some.
The lawsuit filed in Bell County accuses Major Blaine McGraw of sexually exploiting and secretly recording female patients, and alleges that his misconduct was not isolated. It was part of a long, disturbing pattern. We spoke with 2 of McGraw's former patients. They aren't part of the lawsuit, but they say they suffered through the same trauma. And a lot of the reports that we've seen, there was no one else in the room, no nurses. They would kick a husband out. Is this what happened to you also?
He kicked my husband out repeatedly after I told my husband about the first incident. My husband would continue to try and go in there and be with me, and every single time he would tell my husband he was not allowed in there for the physical exam. I was never offered a chaperone, so it was just always me and him in that room.
When the investigation began, she says she didn't hear from the Army. She found out on social media.
Gave my statement and walked out with a pamphlet.
A second woman, who we're also not identifying, says she didn't notice the, quote, red flags at first.
He put his phone in his breast pocket. And then proceeded to perform a vaginal exam on me. Just kind of pushed it aside and didn't really think anything of it, or tried not to, rather, because, again, this was a doctor I trusted.
The lawsuit alleges investigators recovered thousands of photos and videos from McGraw's devices. Support groups like the Shield of Sisters are stepping up to help victims.
The stories we're hearing are absolutely horrific. put yourself in their shoes and understand right now they feel betrayed. They're scared. They don't know what's going to happen.
For now, the alleged victims say they're leaning on each other and the people they trust. By sharing your story, what is the main message that you are hoping to send?
You took a piece of me, but you didn't take all of me, and I will come out stronger. And so will all these
The firm
other
representing at least 55 female accusers in the case says it is possibly the largest sexual misconduct case in the history of the U.S. military.
The father of a 10-year-old girl who's been missing since June is pleading for information about her location. Gabrielle Terralong was last seen after getting off a Greyhound bus with her mother at a mall in Orlando. She wasn't reported missing until October 29th. That was more than 10 days after her mother was arrested on shoplifting charges. The child's mother was booked a second time on November 4th, and she was charged with child neglect without bodily harm at the time.
And the last moments I had with my daughter, she was happy, energized, her mom was out of it, and me and her had a brief second to talk, but it wasn't really much.
Gabrielle's mother refuses to tell investigators what happened to Gabby or where she might be.
A man accused of setting a woman on fire on a Chicago public train now faces federal charges. The 50-year-old is charged with committing a terrorist act on a mass transportation system. Video shows him pouring a liquid from a bottle on a 26-year-old woman and lighting her on fire. She is in critical condition. The suspect faces life in prison if convicted, and if the woman dies, he could face the death penalty. Scary moments at a mall in Phoenix, Arizona, after a part of a ceiling collapsed inside a dental office. Authorities say staff members and patients inside the clinic made it out safely. The ceiling collapse also caused extensive damage to a water line, which flooded parts of the mall. Officers evacuated the mall and closed it for the rest of the night. There is no word yet on the cause, but heavy rain and hail hit the area earlier that afternoon.
A holiday tradition kicks off tonight in Durham. The Festival of Lights begins at the DBAP, and this is what the ballpark looked like this morning. Now, doesn't that look fun? Go out and check that out. Teams have been working on this for weeks, and you can find ticket information on our website. The show runs until January 3rd, but I don't know, better go ahead and get your ticket. Looks fun.
Yeah, so colorful and so merry and bright. It is the season. Let's get out to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner now. And cooler today, Elizabeth, but then, wow, we're going to get a warm up. It's not really going to feel like the holidays.
We really will. So this week is going to be one of those roller coaster weeks. It's just up and down, up and down. I will say that I drove past the Festival of Lights over the weekend. It wasn't open yet, but man, they had all the lights up. I was driving down 147. I was like, oh my goodness, look at that. It looks amazing. All right, it's chilly this morning and this afternoon. You know, if I were in the sun, maybe I would be fine without my coat on, but I'm pretty happy to have my coat on right now. It's going to be noticeably warmer tomorrow. We get back into the 70s for both Friday and Saturday, and the rain returns also Friday and Saturday. But it's a beautiful afternoon here in the Gardens. We had cloudy skies this morning. We've cleared out, at least from Raleigh westward and southward, so pretty start here to the afternoon. 55 is our temperature. We should climb on up into the low 60s in the next few hours. Pretty solidly in the mid and upper 50s right now. The only exception is 49 there in South Hill, but 59 in Southern Pines, or 51 over in Clayton right now, 56 in Cary, 53 in Holly Springs. So again, low to mid 50s heading out the door, but compared to yesterday, that's on the cool side. Temperatures anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Low 60s for highs in Raleigh and Durham, and 69 in Fayetteville, so pretty pleasant out there. And of course, this is a look at the DBAP, where Festival opens up this evening at 5:30. And of course, it doesn't look like anything in the daylight, but trust me, it looked amazing when I drove past it. Temperatures will be great. We're looking at clear skies, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Unless you're going to be there, you know, a little bit earlier than that, it could still be at around 60 degrees. 62 is our normal high, so we're close to that today. But look at that, 77 on Saturday. If we hit it, that will tie the previous record high. Already starting to see some rain on this front. This front will sort of move up and down across our area. It's going to start to lift northward. That's going to push some warmth back in for tomorrow and Saturday, but along that front, we'll also see some rain that rolls in. Tomorrow morning, first thing at like 5 or 6, it may still be fairly dry, but between 7 and 8, we start to see a few showers, and then at lunchtime, we may see some rain. Later in the afternoon, up until around 6 or 7, we may see a little bit of rain. And then Saturday, the front drops over us again. Saturday looks a little more interesting in terms of rain. There's 6:30. We're seeing rain during the parade. We start our broadcast at 9. The parade starts at 9:30, and you can see this wave of rain that's moving right through during that time. And then possibly some more rain during the late afternoon and evening. So it's not going to be a washout, but it'll definitely be with us on and off. Temperatures during the parade should be in the low to mid 60s. Tree lighting for tomorrow night. We'll have that isolated chance of a shower, but Raleigh, Durham, Waverly Place, and Cary temperatures should be in the mid 60s. And then on Saturday evening, again, a small chance of some showers and temperatures in the 60s. Once we get past Saturday, we're nice and dry Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but Wednesday for travel for Thanksgiving, it could be wet. We'll take a look at our Thanksgiving forecast coming up.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Flood prediction technology. Today on WRAL News, starting at 4, how Raleigh is turning to artificial intelligence to help our communities.
Plus, facing a fine. Wake County Animal Center has been hit by the state. Tonight at 6, WRAL investigates what the center is accused of doing that caused this and how they plan to fix it.
With Thanksgiving just a week away, many North Carolinians will be hitting the road. And for some, that means renting a car to do it. Rental companies report a surge in demand this holiday season, but not all trips end smoothly. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur has the story of one man who says he is being charged for damage he didn't create.
5 on your side was contacted by a viewer who is a commercially licensed driver, a former driver's ed teacher, and a former law enforcement officer. He told me that he dropped off his car rental from 6th in perfect condition, but the company said otherwise. Days later, that viewer, Mike Robinson, received a bill from 6th for more than $1,000, citing a 10-centimeter scratch, a new tire, front end alignment, and administrative fees. He says the company never provided timestamped photos or proof that the damage happened on his watch. They're threatening to go to collections. They're threatening to ding your credit. Why haven't you paid them?
Because I did not have an accident or incident with that vehicle. And I just think it's just unfair.
We didn't think it was fair either and contacted 6th. Tonight on WRAL News at 6, I'll tell you what they said and show you the dozens of other customers who claim they too were wrongly charged by this company. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
All right, parents, listen up. An AI-enabled teddy bear is being pulled from the market for giving sexually explicit advice to children. Now, the sales of the Toys Kuma Bear have been suspended, and that's because it engaged in topics such as fetishes, lighting matches, and where to find knives. The teddy is programmed with OpenAI's chatbot, and it's sold on Toys' website for about $99. The company says it's now conducting an internal safety audit. Customers will have more time to return unwanted Christmas gifts this year. Major retailers are extending deadlines on their return policies during the holiday season. Some stores will give customer refunds until January 31st on returnable purchases, but those have to have been made between October through the end of the year. Best Buy is accepting returns on holiday purchases until January 15th, and other stores are doing the same. So be sure to check the return policy wherever you end up buying.
This weekend, join WRAL for the 81st Raleigh Christmas Parade, featuring stunning floats, lively performances, and all the holiday cheer you expect this time of year. From the heart of downtown Raleigh, it is a celebration you don't want to miss. WRAL's live coverage begins Saturday morning at 9 on TV and wherever you stream WRAL.
Road rage investigation. A man is hurt after an early morning shooting. Next, the hunt for the driver responsible.
And fighting high premiums. Lawmakers are looking at a new plan to help skyrocketing health insurance. Next, how soon they have to settle on a proposal before the new year. And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Raleigh police confirmed a shooting that left a man hurt this morning was the result of road rage, and now they are searching for the shooters.
Ooh, looking pretty calm. Looks like that cloud coverage kind of moved out there, as Elizabeth was talking about. You're looking at our WRAL Garner cam on this pretty nice looking Thursday as you're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
Republicans in the House are starting to have serious discussions about how to address skyrocketing health insurance premiums.
Yeah, this is something they've been looking into deeply. Senate Republicans are outlining proposals to align with President Donald Trump's vision. Rebecca Castor reports that House Republicans have until the second week of December to settle on a proposal.
Rising health care costs were at the center of the government shutdown, which finally came to an end last week, only after Republicans promised to work with Democrats on a solution.
Our healthcare system is a mess. Everybody knows that.
Democrats want to extend expiring Obamacare tax credits to keep costs down. But several Republicans, including Louisiana Senator and Dr. Bill Cassidy, are working on proposals that would send federal assistance directly to consumers instead of insurance companies.
The president and I want to send 100% to patients to put into an account to spend on the health care that they want, not just the health care that the insurance company allows them to have.
The law currently allows insurance companies to keep 20% of Obamacare subsidies as profit and to cover overhead costs, leading President Trump to say the only health care he'll support is sending the money directly back to the people. But critics argue that won't be enough.
You know, that's totally absurd. You get a $6,500 check and you have to pay for a $150,000 drug. There's only one path forward at this point, and that's to extend the tax credits.
And that was Rebecca Castor reporting. At least a handful of Republicans also support extending the tax credits, which expire at the end of the year. They say extending the credits would give lawmakers more time to come up with an alternative plan.
Safety in the skies. Details on the new government campaign intended to make traveling civil.
And running with heart. A Wake County man ran 150 miles from Raleigh to Charlotte. Why his legs didn't have to do all the work, though.
Millions of Americans are expected to travel at least 50 miles next week for Thanksgiving. Drivers are being warned to expect more traffic this year, and airports are preparing for big crowds. Those long lines could lead to short tempers. NBC's Tom Costello explains the government's new push for civility in the skies.
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
It's a DOT push to bring back the golden age of flying.
Flying was a bastion of civility, but today...
The Transportation Department cites a 400% increase in bad behavior and violence since 2019. But the FAA's own data shows unruly behavior peaked in 2021 during the mask mandate at 5,900 incidents and has since dropped dramatically to 2,096 incidents last year, 1,431 so far this year.
The majority of people come to our airplane with kindness in their heart, a desire for safe, uneventful flight. And it is not a cage match every time you go to the airport.
The fine for interfering with a flight crew can reach nearly $44,000 per offense, plus jail time.
All right, rotate.
Often caught in the middle, flight attendants, many of whom take voluntary training to defend themselves.
Pretend like you got a bug under this foot. You can squash it. Squash it. There it is.
How do you negotiate with and talk down somebody who may be behaving badly or not behaving appropriately?
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is we want to diffuse and de-escalate the situation. We don't want to make it worse. A lot of times, just taking the time to have a conversation and utilizing your tone and your voice, that can manage that.
Let's bring civility and manners back.
Now, the DOT is asking passengers to remember their manners, offer help to senior citizens or pregnant women putting a bag in the overhead bin, keep children under control, and dress with respect.
The golden age of travel begins with you.
And that was Tom Costello reporting. Frontier Airlines has been cited with the most complaints per 100,000 passengers, with 20 incidents back in 2022. That's the latest data available. Rounding out the top three, Spirit Airlines with 10 complaints per 100,000 passengers, and JetBlue with 9.
A North Carolina man has completed his 150-mile run from Raleigh to Charlotte this week in support of North Carolina firefighters. This video here shows the moment Jalen Snipes made it across the finish line at Charlotte Fire Station 1 on Tuesday. He kicked off the run on Friday at a Raleigh fire station. Again, he ran 150 miles in 4 days. He raised more than $12,000 for the North Carolina Firefighters Fund. And he said the Charlotte firefighters cheered him on during his last few steps, and he was reminded of why he even did this.
It ended a lot in tears because it's just when people put themselves second and be selfless to the degree that the firefighters have throughout this whole thing and even in every day-to-day life, you can't replace that. And that's what made me the most emotional.
Wow. Snipes says that he has another plan in the works to raise even more money to support our North Carolina firefighters. All right, we do want to step outside real quick. Had to look over, make sure, she's out in the patio today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, she's out there right now. And talk a little bit about that next weather maker on the way.
All right, so we have so much to talk about. We have our first good chance of rain in a while for Friday and Saturday. I mean, the timing of that is terrible. We have all kinds of things happening over the weekend. We're going to see a lot of fluctuations with our temperature. Today's cooler, tomorrow's going to be warmer. We could be near a record high on Saturday, but we'll have rain to go along with it. And then Thanksgiving also. We're going to be watching that for the chance of some rain. The models have been all over the place on whether or not we could see rain, but probably we'll see it either Wednesday or Thursday. But let's talk first about what's happening right now. We had a cold front slip south of us today, and that's what's allowed the cooler air to arrive. Our system that's back to the west is really starting to take shape across Tennessee. It'll cross the mountains overnight and be with us first thing in the morning. So here's the timeline for that, for rain for Friday. At 6 a.m., it's still back to the west. So if you're headed out early, you're probably going to be fine. As a matter of fact, at 8 a.m., it still looks like it would be fairly light and patchy. We may have some rain on and off through lunchtime, and then maybe another wave right around the time of the evening commute, and then it looks like it moves out. So it is drier for Friday evening. That's good news if you're headed out to any of the tree lightings that happen on Friday. We talked about that a little bit ago. Saturday at midnight, we may be fairly clear, but then here comes our front. Early in the morning, we're looking fine, but our broadcast of the Christmas parade begins in Raleigh at 9 o'clock, and the parade starts at 9:30, and there's a wave of rain that comes through. That's not a promise that it's going to rain or that it's going to be very heavy, but we continue to see some pretty good consistency that we have at least a chance of some rain during the parade on Saturday. And then another chance of some isolated storms late on Friday afternoon into the evening. It will be nice and mild for the parade. During parade time, temperatures will likely be in the low to mid 60s. And we're not talking about a lot of rain. When you add Friday and Saturday up together, we're still talking about a half an inch or less. Let's talk football because that's happening Friday and Saturday too. Florida State plays at NC State Friday at 8 o'clock. And again, we're looking pretty good. Probably going to be just maybe an isolated shower or two. Can't rule it out. Got it in the forecast. Temperatures will be in the mid 60s. A little trickier maybe when Duke plays at UNC. It's a big game. Saturday at 3:30, we could have a wave of rain that comes through, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. Temperatures will be in the mid 70s and then dropping into the 60s. Let's jump on ahead and take a quick look at Thanksgiving. Rain is possible Wednesday or Thursday. Thanksgiving right now is trending drier, but keep checking back. It's a whole 7 days out, and we are likely to see some changes with our forecast. This is Wednesday at 8 a.m., so you can see some showers closer to the coast, and then that slides out, and really, as we take a look at Thanksgiving, it's trending drier. It may be fairly mild with a high of 69, but a lot of that could change between now and then. Looking at the weekend, Friday's 72, Saturday's 77, and then we're a little cooler but drier for Sunday.
Elizabeth, thanks. Muppet Memorabilia. Now's your chance to own one of your favorite childhood characters. The special auction marking 70 years of Jim Henson's creations.
Here we do have a look at your winning Powerball numbers: 10, 31, 49, 51, 68. The Powerball is 19 and the multipliers too. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines that we're following today. US 64 is now open after a shooting near Lizard Lake Road. It's been closed since about 7:30 this morning after a shooting. Deputies say when they arrived on scene, they found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, and WRAL has reached out to the Wake County Sheriff's Office. We have asked, is this shooting a road rage case? The office was not able to confirm that information.
A Wake County man charged with killing his son is due in court this afternoon. 59-year-old Andrew Torrey is charged with shooting 28-year-old Travis Torrey. Police responded to the scene on Terramar Lane in Zebulon last night. First responders tried to save Travis, but he died. At this time, no word on a motive.
Border Patrol agents have wrapped up their Operation Charlotte's Web, as they called it. Agents launched that sting last Saturday. The Department of Homeland Security says they have arrested more than 250 people, and one of the officials says that Border Patrol agents may return to Charlotte to continue its crackdown at a different time. Agents now plan to target New Orleans for a different operation there.
Hundreds of puppets, props, and memorabilia from Jim Henson's archives could be yours for a price. This marks the first time select items from the Jim Henson Company have hit the auction block. It is part of the company's 70th anniversary celebration. Some of the highlights include a pair of shoes worn by Miss Piggy, life-size puppets from Fraggle Rock, and more. The live auction takes place November 25th. Jim Henson died back in 1990 at the age of 53.
A cat named Noggin now has a helmet to protect her own noggin thanks to the help of a college student in Tennessee. From a distance, she looks kind of like a superhero. Noggin wears a custom helmet to protect her skull while she recovers from a fracture. A student at Chattanooga State helped with a 3D design, and after a trial run, well, the second version of the helmet kind of stuck.
Noggin is actually blind, so she can't really tell a lot about her environment. Her whiskers are helpful when she gets up close, but she can still run into things and bump things, which could impact her skulls.
Now, Noggin has had surgery. She's had a skull fracture, but she's still a playful little kitten. She's still recovering, so she's not quite ready to be adopted, but when she is, I'm sure she'll get a lot of love.
Oh, I feel like that helmet just makes her even cuter. Well, time now for our pet of the day. Dumpling here is a 1-year-old Chihuahua mix from Hope Animal Rescue. Dumpling is a gentle 1-year-old pup who's discovering how wonderful people can be. Now, before coming to Hope Animal Rescue, she likely did not have much human contact. She has made incredible progress, though, over the past 2 months and continues to surprise the rescue workers every day. This shy sweetheart is gaining confidence and will now happily approach her foster family for treats and playtime. She isn't quite ready to be picked up or cuddled yet, but she is learning that love and safety go hand in hand.
No, someone go adopt Dumpling. All right, flood prediction technology. Today on WRAL News starting at 4, how Raleigh is turning to AI to help our communities.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And don't forget, you can always get your breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Hope you have a blessed day today.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.